So this video is kinda like a part 2. In my last video I remastered Super Mario 64, and I'd highly recommend watching that one first. Funnily enough, as I was about halfway done with my Super Mario 64 video, Nintendo actually started removing videos with any relation to a 64 remaster. What a perfect time for me to decide to remaster 64. As of now, the video is still up, but if it does come down in the future, the general gist of the video was that the 64 remaster that I did on the PC was kind of dated, and that you should definitely wait for Nintendo to remake the game before you play it. But what about trying the same thing with Super Mario Sunshine?
Man, I'm finna whip this hoe.
Alrighty, for this one we're gonna need to dig out the old GameCube, the premier gaming cube of the 2001 era, not to be mistaken with the gaming station or the gaming box. This bad boy was my childhood. I didn't really play Super Mario 64 too much, but Sunshine on the GameCube, that was pretty much all I played. And when I look at it today, it actually holds up pretty well. It's definitely not as bad as 64, but it could still benefit from a little remastering. Should I wait for Nintendo to actually remaster the game themselves, or should I just like 64, you can play Sunshine on a GameCube emulator using a PC, and some guy actually went in and redrew all the Sunshine textures in HD. So I downloaded everything, I booted it up, and immediately we are greeted with an intro cutscene. Basically the premise is Peach and Mario are going on a lovely vacation with the elderly Toad Man, and there's a shadowy version of Mario squirting goop all over the place in order to make Mario look bad, since they look alike. And you spend the game cleaning it up. This already has quadruple the amount of story elements as 64, which literally was just Peach saying, "Hey Mario, come get this cake." This one there's a setup, a motive, and actual voice acting.
It's moving!
Now, boys, don't touch that stuff.
Now, boys, get back to work. I don't pay you bottom dollar to keep lollygagging, flibbin' flabbin', kookin' gackin'.
But now that we're actually in-game, I gotta say, this looks freaking perfect. There is little room to grow here. It literally looks like a brand new game. Judging purely on the graphics, Sunshine on the PC is as remastered as I'd want it to be for me to play through this whole game. But that's not to say that Nintendo still shouldn't remaster it, because they can also improve some of the level designs, like this piranha boss that shows up multiple times in the game. You just have to wait for it to open its mouth and squirt it for a second over and over again until it dies. It's kinda just boring. But anyways, eventually you get to the main island where you have to defeat another piranha plant, and then a statue shows up, and then Shadow Mario steals Peach. You chase him around for a bit until he drops Peach, and then he goes into the first level. So this is where the game really opens up. It's the equivalent of Bob-omb Battlefield on 64. You know, come to think of it, this actually looks familiar. So yeah, it's basically the same premise. You climb up the windmill dodging balls along the way until you trigger a boss fight. So during this boss fight, he vomits chocolate everywhere, and you have to spray water down his throat until he becomes engorged, and then you ground pound his enlarged belly button to make him throw the water back up. Yeah, it's a bit weird, but it's definitely better than 64's boss fight. In terms of being modern, this definitely feels like a well-designed game and doesn't feel dated at all, whereas 64 just felt kind of old. And I mean, look at these graphics. You'd never expect that this game didn't come out like last year. So in conclusion, I don't think that Nintendo has to make any real improvements to this game other than matching the graphics seen here on the PC. That, and maybe making these piranha fights a bit more exciting. But overall, I'm really impressed with how well this game holds up, and hopefully Nintendo can find a way to improve it even further. So yeah, that's the second Mario game done. I did say I wanted to try to remaster Super Mario Galaxy, but now I really don't think it's gonna need it. Not only do the graphics look pretty good already, but it will also probably have just as good of a level design as Sunshine did. So for now, I guess we'll just have to wait for Nintendo to announce their plans for all these new games, and I can't wait to hear what they have in store.